it's so hard to teach that. Like, you want to open space and you want it to be safe. It's not safe. That's the other thing.
Right.
Kids nowadays, you may have the courage to speak up and say, you know what, Jimmy Brown, you made me feel bad and I didn't like the way that felt. And then they take that and turn it around and you're traumatized by it. You're bullied because you chose to tell them how you feel. So there's, in my personal opinion, the best way I tell my son, in regards to bullies and things of that sort, and people who are just not safe for your space, take them out of your space. Ignore them. Try to avoid them as much as possible. Um, and that's what I'm currently doing with my brother. I can't. Talking it out is no longer an option. Sitting there listening to your trauma, I did. Sitting here listening to what you had to say and how you felt during the time frame when you were estranged, I heard. When Dad extended the olive branch and you chose not to bite it, I understood you weren't there yet. And then when he passed, you said, well, now I'm the man and I have to step up. I've gotten to the point where mean what you say and say what you mean, bro.
Yeah.
When you don't see it, if you can't do it, don't write the check your mouth can't cash in all reality. Just don't say it. And I didn't say I was going to pick the ball up. Like I said, I didn't have a choice. So I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. All you got to do is your part, which is not that much. It's very minuscule. But you can't. And it's not because you can't physically, financially. You choose not to because whatever it does to you, whatever demons you're dealing with from that closure that you didn't get,
it eats away at you.
It's affecting your blessings in the future.
It's hard, and it's harder to tell somebody they need therapy when, as a man, hearing the word therapy is like, there's nothing wrong with me, I'm okay. And so you can't tell somebody that. I mean, you're supposed to, but it's a whole generational of men out there thinking that the word therapy or getting someone to talk to about your emotions is a dirty word. It's disrespectful. You're saying they're not mentally strong. They're not physically strong to continue their duties as a man. So when you say you need therapy, every man is going to take it as an insult.
Yeah, it's offensive.
It's
Saying there's
what you
something wrong
mean?
with me.
How would
What do you
you
mean
want to
I
be
need help?
presented with going to therapy, Mike? You're the
I
man
would
on
I
the
want to
team.
be present. To be honest with you, don't say I need therapy. Offer. Like, but to be honest with you, that's my response to it because at the end of the day, that's the response we're gonna look at it as. I'm not strong. I'm weak. I need assistance. No, I can do this myself. I don't need a therapist. I got this. Where's the liquor?
So can I, to answer your question, Lisa, because that response right there is what I get a lot and what I hear a lot in working with people, women from about their partners, and what I have taken to is being like, let's go to therapy. It's me. Let's go together so you can support me. But while you're there, hint hint, they're gonna be working on you. But that's going with them, letting them know that it's okay, that this is a safe space. We're gonna do this thing together. It's not about you. It's not all about you. We're doing this thing. And for some people, for some men, um, that makes it seem more acceptable because then they can tell their boys, oh yeah, my wife is making us go to couples therapy or whatever. And there's this like safety net to it because there's a scapegoat, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Um,
to a
but
degree, and
yeah,
I agree with you on that. But if you're not attached to the hip or you're not with somebody, anybody saying that, hey, you need therapy, it's an insult. Them fighting words right there. I ain't gonna lie. They're not gonna fight you,
yeah,
but they're gonna get aggressive with you, and they may distance themselves from you because that's like saying you're weak. It's
or
literally and
crazy. That's
unfortunate
another one
or
too.
crazy, yeah. And unfortunately, that is the stigmatism that is built
Yeah.
behind the whole over hyper masculine behavior that we push out there a lot. And and it ends up with it ends while it's great for us in the bullpen. What I'm saying, you're getting your masculinity in your single life, but then when you come into a relationship with somebody else who's been able to communicate emotionally, speak about their feelings, deal with their angers and emotion process and everything else like that, how to deal and process emotions, and you're dealing with somebody who has zero experience in that, there's going to be a heavy collide of clashing that's going to take place, and a lot of us avoid, or actually we get into relationships and completely forget about that extremeness happening. And
Mm.
so even with family, going back to the whole thing with family and everything else, that is something we definitely need to talk about when you're dealing with male families and female family members. Like when you're dealing with a female family member, all right, so and so communication and stuff. When you're dealing with male family members, it's the same. It's the complete opposite because they don't know. Like no one has ever given us the blueprint on how to basically,
Mm.
as a man, address your emotions and still remain a man, still look masculine, not weak,
Mm.
but still
Mm.
remain strong and capable of doing your job,
How to
provide and
masculinely
protect.
express your emotions.
How to masculinely express
Mm.
your emotions and not have somebody think they can try you, pick on you,
Right.
bully you, or
Right.
or in a sense lose your respect. Because
Right.
it's hard. It's hard because we're being taught not to speak about it. We're being taught, oh, I don't talk to my partner about it. My partner is my partner. We do partner things, but they
Right.
can divulge to me. They can tell me things. They can be deep with me, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, okay, that's nice. I got you. I
Right.
understand that's tough. And what about you? No, I'm okay. I'm good. I ain't got nothing going on. I'm straight. And that's what a lot of men will say. No, no, I can't talk about myself. I can't talk about my trauma because I don't know how to deal or express that properly. And the only thing I can do about it is push it down and avoid it.
Can
Push it
I?
down and avoid it.
I'm going to propose a question. Does relatability and race have anything to do with therapy? I made it a point
Oh,
that my son
Mm-hmm.
currently sees a therapist now. He has some unresolved grief since my dad passed.
hmm
With that being said, I made it a point to find someone who could be as relatable as possible to him,
yeah,
Yes.
and that
it's very important.
makes a difference. So we found an African American woman. She wears Vans, hoodie, beautiful natural hair, but it made it such a smooth transition
Right. More
to
comfortable.
from
Yeah.
the absolutely from our Caucasian therapist to our African American. It was a relatability. I think if, as a society, we saw more people of color and gender, that we might be more receptive to go. Like I've heard from my friends, what this white lady know about being Colombian or whatever it may
The
be, or black
judgment.
man. Like,
Mm.
what she know it is to be a
Nah,
black man
because
in a relationship with a white woman. You know what I mean?
they
Like,
don't know. They don't know. They're going off for and to be honest with you, for some people it may help them out. And if you're taking it from a textbook style, it's a great approach to it textbook wise. But in actuality, it's like it's just textbook. You're not really getting any information from somebody. You don't know the highs and lows. When I saw a therapist, it was a white guy, and I'm like, he don't know what it's like for me to be a black man in this world, going through getting
Yeah.
pulled, the anxiety I feel when I get pulled over by the cops. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
The fact that every now and again you meet a black woman who's all angry and hyper masculine because the last dude or she got daddy issues and all of
Mm.
that, and it's just like, yeah, you don't know what I'm going on with here, Chuck. Okay, there's a difference. All right, for me dealing with real life scenarios, not just work and my trauma. You know why I'm not going to talk about my trauma? Do you know why we do? Do you know why? Well, no, I don't know why. Maybe it's unresolved, sir. See, I'm a lash at you because you don't know,
right.
and so therefore it's not your fault. You're not immersed in the culture, so you don't know. So I can't yell at you.
Right.
So I have to leave. But Marissa, what are your thoughts? Your face is just like,
I'm taking it all in because I agree with what y'all are saying. So there's nothing really for me to add to it. I agree with what you're saying. Like personally, I've never been in therapy, but if I were to start, I would want somebody that I feel like can relate and understand what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying and not just what you said, give me some textbook answer because a textbook
Right.
isn't real
Right.
life. Like it gives you scenarios that may never interact with real life, like issues. And especially now in this day and age, the issues and the problems that we have going on, you
Yeah.
can't tell me that your textbook taught you that.
Correct.
That is true.
So if I'm gonna do it, I want somebody relatable. I mean, even just when I was picking a primary care doctor, my OBGYN, I picked women
Yeah.
of color because I feel comfortable. And sad to say, and not sad, I don't feel sad about it. I chose when I walked into my room and I had my baby and I looked at my nurse in her face when I could tell that she was not of Caucasian descent, I felt 10,000 times lighter
Mm,
because I know the high mortality rate of Black women giving
right.
birth because you can't tell that I'm in pain, even though I'm telling you I'm in pain.
Right.
Because I can bear that pain more than someone of the opposite color of me that you think that my pain isn't as intense as theirs.
Or it's
Oh,
a
that's a
young
whole
mother
nother
who's having,
conversation.
yeah,
Ooh.
it's a young mother who's had a child for the first time and she's inexperienced. She doesn't know.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's a good topic for
I
this.
need to write that. Yeah, that is a whole. Ooh, yeah.
That's a whole subject. That's a whole nother episode. Yeah. You know what
But
I mean?
it's true. Just a sidebar. My son was in a predominantly white school last semester, and I noticed a trend of decline. And me being a person that I am, I did research and studies and things of that sort. And it sounds simple, but when surrounded by those who look like you tend to flourish and excel more. So we did some things and maneuvered some things, and he's actually in a school where he is in an environment where he's safe.
Mm.
And he has an instructor who's African American who comes to school button down every day with a bow tie to match and the shoes to match.
Oh.
And he has different ethnicities and biracial. Like usually, Tyson's usually the only African American Hispanic child, as opposed to black and white, which is predominantly what is the school that he used to be. Out of a class of 50, there's only 2 biracial children and 1 black in his entire grade. So we transition into a different school, and Tyson is A's and B's. The environment makes a difference. Feeling comfortable when you're getting your hoo-ha looked at is extremely important. Knowing that she may be dealing with something that I'm dealing with, as opposed to Dr. Susie Q, who has no idea, makes a huge difference. So I think it's all
Well,
about
it
the
really
environment.
comes down to, yeah, what everybody is saying. It comes down to feeling safe.
Yeah.
Mm.
And for most people, and this is across the board, they feel safe with people who they feel like they can relate to. And unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever, that's generally going to be people that look like you or come from the same background as you or have some kind of connection.
Relatability.
Not like you're up here on this pedestal looking down at me, trying to fix whatever issues I come with. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
So I completely agree with that.
No, and valid points on that.